I used to believe a man could love two women at once. That it wasn't about betrayal, it was about balance. One kept the house warm. The other kept his blood moving. Tina was the warmth. She folded my socks, made French toast on Sundays, and kissed my cheek every morning before I left for the bank. Her voice was soft, her hair always pulled back, her kindness predictable. We lived in a small house in Valdosta where the air smelled like cut grass and our neighbors waved with two fingers from their porches. And then there was Monica. Monica didn't wave. Monica danced. She poured whiskey with a wink and laughed from her belly. She was 10 years younger, wore eyeliner like war paint, and leaned too close when she talked. I told myself I went to her bar for the quiet, the music, the familiarity. But I kept returning for her. The affair began like most do, with denial. It was just drinks. Then just a conversation. Then just a touch. Then I was renting rooms under false names and lying about overtime. I told myself Tina didn't need to know. That it was harmless. That I was still the same man I'd always been. Until the afternoon Monica texted me. Room 208. Bring whiskey. It was a Thursday. I left the office early, told my supervisor I had a dentist appointment. Stopped at the liquor store on Elm. My hands were sweating when I reached the motel. I'd been there before, same front desk clerk, same half-broken vending machine humming in the corner. The door to room 208 was unlocked. I pushed it open slowly, expecting music, perfume, a smile. But the room was empty. Not just empty. Clean. Too clean. Bed made. No trash. No purse. No scent of her perfume. Just a quiet stillness that pressed against my chest. I waited. 20 minutes. 30. I called. No answer. Texted. No reply. Panic didn't come like a wave. It came like a tightness in my throat. A whisper that something was wrong. I knocked on the bathroom door, checked the parking lot, nothing. I sat on the edge of the bed, the whiskey bottle unopened beside me. And that's when it hit me, Monica wasn't late. Monica was gone. The room felt like a trap. Like I'd walked into a stage already struck. I scanned the space, looking for a note, a clue, a hairpin, anything to suggest she'd been there. But there was nothing. It was as if she had never existed at all. I drove home with my hands shaking. Tina was in the kitchen, humming, making chili. She smiled when I walked in. I kissed her cheek, nodded, sat at the table. My mouth moved in conversation, but I wasn't there. I was still in room 208, staring at that made bed and the silence Monica left behind. That night, I dreamed of her face, half in shadow, half in light. She was saying something, but the words wouldn't come out. By morning, the guilt had grown teeth. I told myself she probably just left town. Got scared. Moved on. I deleted our messages. Burned the receipt for the whiskey. Told myself it was over. But the silence wouldn't leave me alone. And neither would the question, what if she didn't leave? What if she vanished? The motel manager called the cops 2 days later. Said a guest never checked out. Room 208 sat empty and paid for. Sheets still tucked. Nothing stolen. Nothing left. The cops showed up at the bar first. Monica hadn't been seen in days. Her roommate hadn't heard from her. One officer checked the CCTV. They found footage of her leaving her apartment 3 nights before. Nothing after that. Then they found her old phone. My number was in it. Saved under our bank. They showed up at my house on a Sunday morning. 2 detectives. Calm. Polite. Asked if I knew a Monica West. I froze. Said I didn't. Said the name sounded familiar. They didn't press. Just handed me a card and said to call if anything came to mind. Tina was watching from the window. Later, she asked who they were. I lied. Something about bank fraud. Her face didn't change. She nodded slowly. Said okay. Went back to washing dishes. The next night, she found the text. Room 208. Bring whiskey. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just walked into the bedroom, packed a bag, and left. I didn't stop her. I didn't know how. The investigation escalated. I was questioned formally the following week. I admitted to the affair. Told them about the motel. The bottle of whiskey. The empty room. They asked if I killed her. I said no. They asked if I knew where she went. I said no. They didn't believe me. They searched my car. My house. My laptop. Took my phone. Nothing. Monica had vanished, and I was the only one with a reason to make her disappear. I tried to go back to work. Pretend it was all noise. But the whispers followed me. Someone made a fake Reddit thread, Valdosta banker kills girlfriend, hides body. Clients cancelled. Friends stopped answering. Even Blue, my dog, looked at me different. Eventually, the police let me go. Not enough evidence. No body. No sign of foul play. No timeline that held up. But in Valdosta, evidence didn't matter. The story had already been written. I was the man who cheated and killed his mistress. I was the reason she was gone. I started walking the neighborhood at night. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't sit still. People closed blinds when I passed. Tina filed for divorce without a word. I signed the papers alone. Months turned into years. Monica's name became legend. High school kids dared each other to break into room 208. Podcasts did unsolved episodes. No one asked how I was. I became the ghost of a scandal. The worst part? I began to wonder if maybe they were right. If maybe I had driven her away so far, she'd never come back. And maybe that was murder too. It was a Tuesday when she walked into the sheriff's office, 6 years after she vanished. The deputy on duty almost didn't recognize her. Gaunt face, sunken cheeks, hair pulled into a lifeless ponytail. But it wasn't Monica's face that caught his attention, it was the little girl holding her hand. She looked 6. Maybe 7. Same almond eyes. Same dimple in the left cheek. She looked like me. The story unraveled fast. Monica had heard me once, late at night, whispering to myself that I'd never leave Tina. That I couldn't. That I didn't want to blow up my life. Monica left the next morning. No note. No warning. Just disappeared. She traveled under a fake name. Took cash jobs. Slept in borrowed rooms. Moved from town to town, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama. She had the baby in a clinic under a different identity. She said she was scared. That if she stayed, she'd make me choose. And she already knew the answer. But when the child got sick, really sick, she had no choice but to come back. The hospital wouldn't take her without insurance. The fake name didn't work anymore. So she walked into that office and told the truth. And just like that, I was no longer a suspect. The police released a statement, "No foul play. Monica West found alive and well." But in Valdosta, the story had already hardened. People didn't rejoice. They didn't apologize. They moved on to the next rumor. Tina didn't call. Didn't write. The divorce had long been final. The house was sold. Blue was gone. Monica asked if I wanted to meet the girl. Her name was Emily. The first time I saw her, she clung to Monica's leg like I was a stranger. Because I was. We sat in a quiet park. I brought a book. She played in the grass. Monica watched from the bench beside me, hollowed out by the years, by the weight of what she'd done, by what I never had the courage to say. There was no big apology. No screaming. No closure. Just silence. And the quiet understanding that sometimes, everyone loses. I saw Emily twice more. She never called me Dad. I never asked her to. There's no justice in stories like mine. Just exits. Just ghosts. And a child with my eyes who may never know the whole truth. Maybe that's mercy. I live alone now. A small town 3 hours from where everything happened. It has one gas station, one diner, and a post office that closes at 3 p.m. I work nights at the gas station. I sweep the floor. Restock the drinks. Make small talk when I have to, but mostly I don't. No one here knows me as the man who made headlines. No one here calls me anything at all. They stopped saying I killed her. But they never started saying I didn't. There's a difference between being cleared and being forgiven. I learned that too late. Sometimes a kid comes in with her dad and asks for candy. She has the same eyes as Emily. Almond-shaped. Curious. I never say anything. I still get letters from Florida. From Monica. Mostly updates. Medical appointments. Report cards. A few pictures. Emily is growing fast. She likes drawing, Monica says. She has a quiet way of speaking. I never write back. I want to. But what would I say? There's a letter I wrote once. Never sent. Folded and refolded so many times it's soft at the edges. I didn't kill her. But I didn't lie much after she left, either. Some nights, I read it out loud, just to hear my own voice. To remember what it sounds like. No one in town asks why I never go out. No one in town remembers my birthday. And that's okay. Some stories don't need an audience. They just need to end. So here's mine. A man fell in love. A woman disappeared. And when she came back, she wasn't the same. Neither was he. Reggie's story ended in silence. But Jasmine's story begins with forgiveness and ends with something far more cruel. She forgave her husband's affair. She believed they could rebuild. Start a family. Heal. But what she didn't know was that he'd already made sure she never could. In the next episode of 10 True Affair Stories from Georgia, the betrayal doesn't come with lipstick on a collar. It comes in medical records, in irreversible choices, and in the quiet horror of realizing someone planned your heartbreak long before you ever found the courage to forgive them. Next, Jasmine from Columbus. She forgave his affair, but not what he did next.